plan to build a new central fire station in Brooklyn Park will now need other legislative support. Governor Tim Walz unveiled his bonding proposal this week, but several local suburbs seeking state funds for projects were not part of his recommendations. Brooklyn Park requested nearly $13 million to construct a central fire station that could also be used as a regional training facility and emergency operations center. The Brooklyn Park station is one of the only full-time staffed suburban fire departments in the Twin Cities metro. The city has already received more than $1 million from the state to design that new station. Other local requests were also left out of the governor's bonding proposal. Those include $4 million sought for an expansion of the Zanewood Rec Center in Brooklyn Park. Maple Grove's request for $16 million to expand its community center also didn't make the cut. The city of Plymouth wasn't included either. Plymouth requested $32 million for its city center redevelopment efforts. That would include an additional ice sheet at the Plymouth Ice Center and a new public parking ramp. Golden Valley was left out too. It requested $7 million to construct a new fire station. The governor's bonding proposal sets a framework for discussions and projects that could be included later in the legislative session. Meanwhile, the Osseo City Council has given the go-ahead for a $2 million street reconstruction project. Construction crews will rebuild or repair 7 city streets starting in May. Streets being reconstructed will get new curbs and gutters. That project also includes an extension of the storm drain system. The city will be assessing about half of the cost to property owners. For some homeowners, the costs are expected to be about $11,000. The city will host an assessment hearing in March, and construction is expected to run through September. An aerial arts and acrobatics training school is moving to Golden Valley.
I'm really excited. This is a fun business, and it's going to drive, I think, a whole new group of people to come into our city.
Golden Valley City Council approved the permit for the aviary this week. The business is currently located in Hopkins. They're moving into the space previously used by Tech Dump on Boone Avenue. They offer classes on aerial performance using bungee, silk, or hammock-style hanging devices. They also host private parties. Anoka-Hennepin Schools and its teachers union are still in talks for a new contract. Teachers have been working without a contract since July. As the union implements new ways to make its voice heard, one volunteer in Brooklyn Park says helpers are needed now more than ever.
So I'm subtracting 1/10 from here.
In the day-to-day, Monroe Elementary teachers are busy.
The teachers' workload during a regular school year is pretty packed with different meetings, preparing for lessons, lesson planning, collaboration, teaching the students.
As each school day goes by, they can't do it alone.
Each of our schools has a volunteer coordinator who are supported by a district-level staff.
Principal Amy Oliver has seen nearly 200 volunteers come through the school doors this year. One of those is Monroe mom Melissa Behrens. She makes flashcards, laminates worksheets, and prepares curriculum materials, among many other things.
There's way more that these teachers are doing that we don't even comprehend and we don't even think about outside of our hours.
The time for change is now.
As educators with the Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota Union work without a contract, union members are taking part in Work to Rule.
My family asked, well then, if you're not doing it, who's doing it? The teachers are doing it. They are taking this stuff home at nighttime. They are taking it on the weekend.
Under Work to Rule, teachers fulfill paid duties, but don't work beyond their contract hours.
Kind of get in the groove, you know.
So more volunteers, like Behrens, are stepping up in small ways.
We cannot take the role of a teacher. So let's take a couple things from them that we can do so that space is reserved in their head and their hearts for what they really need to for their students.
It's these acts that Behrens says anyone can do to make a big difference. The union and district are meeting for contract mediation again on Friday, January 19th. Firefighters already help others in their respective communities, but as Delane Cleveland reports, a member of the Brooklyn Center Fire Department has found another way to give back.
So Engine 5 is our main truck that we use for every calls that we get.
Meet Corboy Bala.
So turn the truck on.
For the last 9 years, he's worked as a Brooklyn Center firefighter.
This is our medical compartment.
Although work might not be the proper word.
It doesn't feel like it's work anymore, because everything that I'm doing right now, I love doing it. It's a passion.
For Bala, saving lives and helping people on their worst days is a rewarding profession, to say the least.
Serving your community, giving back is what I stand for, so I really do enjoy it.
But this native of Liberia doesn't stop there. When Bala isn't saving lives, he spends his time impacting children's lives through his nonprofit, How's Wings, which he named after his sister who died from cancer.
You know, because my sister has always been that person just caring, pouring love.
Now he's spreading that same care and love through sports. On Martin Luther King Day, How's Wings hosted the second annual Ballers and Badges Youth Basketball Tournament. Dozens of kids participated with teams coached by firefighters, police, and sheriff's deputies.
I know there was a bad stigma with cops and everything else in the city, so being a firefighter, I've worked with police. You know, so I wanted to find a better way that we can start having the conversation and starts to heal, the healing process.
It's a healing process that he thought was necessary after the murder of George Floyd.
So this is the captain's seat, and I'm the captain today.
And while this initiative is in its early stages, so far it's paying dividends.
So to see the transformation from we don't mess with the police to, oh my gosh, you cool, I like you. You know, so just saying how everything changed or how I decided to engage with the police was like rewarding for me.
In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The basketball tournament doubled in size from last year, and some of the participants received prizes ranging from shoes to clothing to gift cards.
As usual, the Lake Conference is loaded with really good teams in girls basketball this season. Wayzata face Eden Prairie Tuesday. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
The Trojans and Eagles both ranked inside the top 5 in the state in Class 4A and both 1-1 in Lakes Conference play. EP jumped out of the gates. Vanessa Jordan off the ball screen, one dribble, squares up and lets it fly. That put the Eagles out in front 9-5, but that lead went away quickly. Wayzata got out and ran the floor. Sophie Hawkinson outlet up to Anoka-Hennepin and one finish in transition. Trojans up 9 after that basket. Still in the first half, off the inbounds, Marin Day left all alone in the corner. The freshman hits nothing but nylon, 3 of her 10, 36-24 at the break. They kept on running in the second half. Hawkinson in the paint, left-hand bank falls. She had 12 points for Wayzata. Then some good ball movement here on the fast break. Day with the skip to Keyser. Next pass to Sarah Hyde. The Trojans had 7 players that scored 8 or more points, 4 in double figures. Allie Burns led the way with 14, and Wayzata rolls over EP 75-48. In Plymouth, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Osseo boys basketball team has big matchups coming up with rivals Maple Grove, Park Center, and Totino-Grace. First, the Orioles wanted to take care of business against Elk River. Jay Wilcox has highlights.
Osseo hosting Elk River in Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball. A nice pick and roll as Ty Swanson finds Aaron Smith for 2 inside and an early 7-0 lead for the Orioles. Swanson has a big first half. This is the 4th 3 he hits in all as the Orioles build a lead. Temi Donato drives it strong for 2 more as Osseo leads Ryan Servati's Elks 33-16 at halftime. Offensive rebounding is a key for the Orioles in this one. Jamison Travis gets the putback on his way to a 13-point game as their lead grows. Smith scores 14 as Osseo beats Elk River 60-47 to stay unbeaten in conference play. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Totino-Grace leads the Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball race after edging Maple Grove in double overtime Tuesday. Jay Wilcox has more on the Eagles.
They're coming along pretty quickly. The Totino-Grace boys basketball team is 10-3 against a tough schedule, despite having plenty of new faces in the lineup.
I feel like in practice and games, like getting everyone collected and together, I feel like it's a big part. The young guys are all really mature, so it's really not that hard at all.
Yeah, I feel really good. We're definitely getting more connected as a team. I think that's huge on and off the court. You know, everyone's cool with everyone. We all like each other. And I think you can really see that translate to the way we play.
I probably don't give enough credit at times to how young we are, starting 2 sophomores, having a couple freshmen playing minutes for us. It's just been fun. I mean, because you see guys growing up kind of right before your eyes.
The Eagles, who are ranked first in Class 3A, own a win over then number 1 in 4A Park Center, and they lost by 2 to now top-ranked Wayzata. They've also faced some top teams from other states.
Because we've played some really good teams from out of town. Bellevue West from Nebraska, Cordova from Tennessee, Wauwatosa West from Wisconsin. I think they have fun doing it. You know, I think competitors, I think high-level athletes want to test their brass against the best competition they can.
The Eagles have 5 scorers averaging in double figures on a balanced team. They have some games coming up against teams that may not be at their talent level, but the challenge is to keep their level of play at a high standard regardless of the opponent.
It's really just going hard every day in practice. I feel like our coach keeps us motivated all the time. We're looking forward to that end goal, which is state. So,
for sure, no matter who you're playing, there's always room for improvement. Take every job as it is, and you can't take anyone lightly because when you're a top team, everyone's going to play their best against you.
There's still room to grow, but it's fair to say Totino-Grace should contend for a 3rd straight state championship in Class 3A. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.